All right, so the only thing that changes with regard to using a loop versus using packing is instead of one incision in your patient, you need two. That's the only thing that's different, except everything in that area is anesthetized anyway, so it doesn't hinder healing. As a matter of fact, some people actually even think that putting the loop in allows the patient to rotate it back and forth and prevents the area from healing prematurely, right? Because we want this area to basically close like a book from the bottom up. And by having that loop in place and the patient being educated on how to rotate and manipulate that, some people think that that actually makes the healing better. You do need a hemostat, right? So the entire procedure is the same. You can do a circumferential block, you can do a dome block, doesn't matter. You want to, again, look at the Langer lines, both regardless of where you are on the patient, to try to improve healing as much as possible. So you've already made that first cut, that's beautiful. Plus or minus as to whether you need to make it that long, but I'm gonna go straight in, make another cut, okay? Now the difference with regard to the loop versus the packing, now we have two cuts, right? I'm gonna find that other cut that I just made, and I'm gonna go in here. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna go through, right? And all I'm gonna do is take my forceps, and you're gonna put that loop in between your hemostat. You are. And you're gonna pull it through, okay? And typically the incisions are, this is maybe for bigger abscesses, because usually the incisions are not quite this close, but just for demonstration on this pad. So then what do you do with the loops? You're basically going to tie a knot, right? Now, not a tight knot, okay? But you do need it to hold. So you wanna basically, you can do a one-handed tie, do a couple loops on this, okay? Kind of cinch that down so that it doesn't come undone, because these are all rubber. As a matter of fact, vessel loops come in multiple different sizes, but typically the red ones are the ones that you're gonna find in the emergency department if you find them at all. And what you educate, and then the patient has no packing, right? What you educate the patient on is, hey, today it's here, tomorrow I want you to kind of shift this over there, okay? And then I want you to kind of shift it back. And what is it doing? It's keeping that tunnel open so that the wound actually does heal and close like a book. Again, I would still put this person on antibiotics. I would still want to see this patient back or refer them to complex care. You can't just, some people will tell the patient to just take this out. I prefer to see it or have someone see it just to ensure that it's actually healing appropriately. But again, you're making that other incision, tunneling under with your hemostat, grabbing that vessel loop and then pulling it back through and then tying it. And then of course, putting gauze on there, cleaning off your betadine if you prepped the patient that way. And also, again, I'm a huge fan of maxi pads, sanitary napkins. We have them in the emergency department, so it makes it very easy. They're cheap for patients, and it's always clean. They're cheaper than gauze. It's always a clean dressing against the wound, and therefore, and for certain areas that can't really tolerate tape, you don't have to tape it. So it works great. So hopefully this was helpful. And again, we're going to be going over this in lab next week.